Hello everyone, this is Gayle, and I don't know about you, but I have had, and I'll hear everybody else talk about, the problems with ScanNCut mats, that they just don't stay sticky, they're not any good, and even though you keep your plastic on top of it, like this is, if you press this down, there's no sticky there. So I'm going to remove this plastic and see if I can do something else. I ordered these Cricut mats. It's a set of 2. It's a standard grip. Got it on Amazon for less than $10. And there's 2 mats in here. Now if you've had to buy a ScanNCut mat, you know that they're much more expensive than that just for one. They're like $16, $17 just for one on Amazon. I don't know how much they are anyplace else. But I've heard of people that have used their, have put Cricut mats on a ScanNCut. So I'm going to give it a try and just see what happens. I'll use you as my guinea pigs. So let me see. Alright, so this is the the Cricut mat. Before I do it, let me look and see the size. Because you can't, if you look on your ScanNCut mat, you've got all these little black marks, little designs and things on both ends. And you don't want to mess those up. But I'm thinking, I'm going to leave that's a pretty good stick on there. I'm thinking that I need to cut this down. At least, let me do this. Let me cut the top and the bottom off. Because I've got the markings here, so I don't need to keep these markings. So I'm going to cut these off. I'm going to go just barely outside. I probably ought to use different scissors. These are heavy-duty craft scissors, which I thought I would need, but this seems to be pretty easy to cut. But let me just see. And I feel like if I ruin this mat, I've only wasted $5 rather than spending $16 for a new ScanNCut mat. Alright, so there goes the top, or the bottom, or whatever that was. That was the bottom. And this is the top, because there's the little hole where you would hang it, but I'm still going to use, I punched a hole in my ScanNCut mat right here below the black, right on the black line. And I just put a command strip hook up on the wall, and I poked a hole in the cover also. And as I use them and finish with them, I just hang them up on the side of my bookshelf. Alright, I just heard a noise. My next door neighbors, I live out in the country, and my next door neighbor is a man, and next door to him is his cousin, and then next door to him is his brother. And they like to shoot their guns, and they're quite a ways away from me. I live on 3.5 acres, but you're gonna hear the sounds of gunshots. Nobody's getting shot at. It's just them playing, men and their toys. Now, I may have cut this a little bit too close in some places, but I'm just going to throw this away. And let me see. How this is going to work. If I line this up with my 12 inches, with my inch line there, because I need something to tape this with. So I think I'm going to leave this on there the sides. I just don't know whether to put, those aren't inches, so let's do it this way. Make sure that my inches, there, can you hear it? They're just target shooting. They're not shooting towards my house or anything. And then I'm going to get some packing tape. Well, I guess I better take the cover off first. Actually, I'm just going to remove half of it and fold it over. And then I'll put it back. I'm trying to put this up so that it's exactly the same as my ScanNCut mat. And I'm going to take the packing tape. I use packing tape to repair my mats. Sometimes if I cut through it, I will just put the packing tape on the back. But now I'm going to put it, I'll put it right up to the edge of this line, the 12-inch line. And it's clear, so if you cover up, let me cover up the Cricut mat again because I'm going to have my fingers all over it. And I'm going to turn this over and bring my mat over here. Now I have a CM350, so this is a regular ScanNCut mat. I don't know anything about the DX mats. I don't know if they're thicker or if they, I've seen people say something about the barcodes on the back. Well, this does not have any barcodes. So let me just, let's see, what have I got heavy? That's not heavy, but it'll hold that back. So I'm going to try this. And again, I'm going to try to line this up with the white line, that right at the 1-inch line, or the 0. And cover it up, cover the mat up again. And do the same thing as I did on the other one. You'll see here, I put a date on the back of my mats when I open them, so I'll know how old they are. But I get so tired of having to reorder, and reorder mats. Now, I don't know how this is going to work. Let me not put as long a piece, but since this is clear, I'm just going to slightly overlap there. I don't know if this will make a difference or not. It's not covering up any of the little black pieces, but I have a wrinkle in it. So I don't know if that will mess up anything or not. I should, if I had some thinner tape, I would use thinner tape. But the only thing I have that's clear is my packing tape. Oh, and you know what I didn't do is I didn't take this cover off when I put that tape on it. I'll bring it back down here where I can see what I'm doing. Sorry about that. If you watch any of my videos on anything else, whether it's polymer clay or home decor or whatever, you'll see that I show a lot of my mistakes. I'm going to use my little squeegee to flatten that out. So I'll do the same thing down here, just so, well, I guess I don't need to do that down here because that's going to be the bottom. So I know what I can do. Let me trim this off right at the bottom of this black. Let's see if I can't. I've got all my stuff sitting here. I can't get to what I need to get to. I have this Fiskars finger blade that I use in my paper crafting a lot. And I'm just going to cut just hard enough to cut through this tape. Well, hopefully it cut through. I didn't want to cut too hard because I didn't want to cut my mat, and I may not have cut firm enough. I don't think I did. Let me try that again and just do it a little bit firmer. I just wanted to cut through the tape. I think that did it because I heard the ripping sound. Packing tape is not the best tape to work with because it rips and tears and everything, but it's going to do the job for me today, I hope. We will find out. But this way I don't have all these excess wrinkles in my tape. And let me get these other little pieces that where it ripped. And there's another piece up here. I'm not going to worry with this up here because it's not wrinkled or anything. So I think that's going to work fine there. So now I've got to put some paper on here and see if it will go into my machine. So I'm going to have to change my camera or move my machine over here because it's not in the area where I normally do my cutting. So I'm going to turn the camera off, get everything set up, and then I'll be back. Okay, I have moved my machine over here. I have put a piece of, I didn't want to waste my good cardstock, my clear 88 and clear cardstock. So I just put some Nina 65-pound cardstock on here. Let me see what my blade is set at. I was cutting vinyl, so it's set at 0 or at 1. So let me change that. For the Nina, I think I'll just put it at a 4. Sorry, I should have done all this before I put the camera back on. But anyway, now I'm going to try to load my mat and see what happens. Alright, so excuse me, I have to tilt this up just a little bit so I can see it. Let me do No, I won't do that. No, I won't do that. Let me find something. I'll just do one of my things. Something that's on my USB. How about, don't want to cut a bunch of things. How about this? These are 3-inch scallops. I'll cut those. And just see how it works in this machine. I think I've got everything moved out of the way for the mat to come through. So let me just do OK, cut, and start, and let's see what happens. It seems to be working. So far, so good. If it's cut this far, I'm sure it'll cut the rest of the way. But the next thing I need to see is whether it cut into my mat, being set at a 4. I probably should have set it at like 3.5. I'm just going to stop there and take this out. And I'm going to pull the paper up. Oh, it's so nice and stuck. It is really stuck. This is really nice. See, I don't have room to lay my mat down to work on it while I've got my machine here. But I am changing craft rooms. Within the next couple weeks, I will be in a different room, and let me just, wow, these are really stuck. It doesn't look like it cut into my mat. But these are this is much stickier than my ScanNCut mat. So I would say this is a success. So if any of you ScanNCut users that are just fed up with your mats, this one is stuck so much I'm tearing it trying to get it off. But if I had my tool that I use. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the cover that came off of it, and I'm going to lay it on here. I don't have a lot of room to play because it's the wrong way. It goes this way. Because remember, I cut it to size, so make sure the top and the bottom line up. And what I like to do on mine, on my covers, let me see if I can find my Sharpie. I like to put top on this, on the cover, because that way when I go to lay it down somewhere, I'm not going to pick up, because you know what makes your mat unsticky is when dust and debris and lint and everything gets on your mat. Well, if you take this off and you lay it on your table, you know, you lay the top up, and then when you pick it up, you flip it over to put the top down, you're putting whatever dust has been sitting on it onto your mat. So this way you always have the top in the right place. And as sticky as this is, I can still use my hang hole to, you know, to hang this up with my other mat. So I'm thrilled. For less than $10, I can fix 2 mats, and that is exactly what I needed. So hope this helps some of you. I'm typically, most of my videos so far are polymer clay videos. So if you're interested in polymer clay, I'd love you to check out my other videos. But I appreciate you watching this, and I will be back again soon with some other tips and tricks for the Brother ScanNCut. Thanks. Bye-bye.